welcome back. It is almost the end of July, which means it is time to do a recap of all of the books that I read in July, the good and the not so good. So let's get into it. My first book of July was The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. And this one I gave 4 stars, although now looking back on it, I really think I could have given it a 5, but it was my very first review, so I was being hypercritical of it, but it is a fantastic book. Kate Quinn is such a fantastic author. I've read some of her other books and they are equally as amazing. She develops the characters in her books so incredibly well. And in The Alice Network, I was shocked by some of the plot points she had, and it was fantastic. I would highly recommend that you give this one a try. The second book that I finished in July was The Maid by Nita Prose. This book was such a cute and fun read. It's listed as a mystery, but it is not like a thriller or action-packed mystery. It was a light and fun read that really does have a surprising twist at the end. I really enjoyed that, and I adored Molly's character. The third book that I read and finished in July was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Now, you already know I went into it thinking that this was going to be overhyped, and after reading it, it became one of my favorite books of July. That was my first 5-star review. It was just so well written, and I still think it's because I went into it with such low expectations. I really had no hopes at all for that book, but fell in love with the characters, and it's kind of changed me on romances. You'll see that in some of the other books that I've finished in July. With Book Lovers, I really only even picked it up because it was available at my library when I was trying to pick up some new things, so I figured, okay, fine, I'll give in, and I am so glad that I did. Now, after reading Book Lovers, I cannot wait to read more of Emily Henry's books, and you'll see more of those in my August TBR list. Next up, and my 4th book in July, was Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This one is another one that has been so popular this summer. I think it was my most anticipated read. I was actually looking forward to reading this one, and I have a very unpopular opinion here. I didn't love it. This one was like a 3 to 3.5 stars for me. I sadly just felt like the characters took a really long time to get to love. I could not stand the character of Nick Rivera from the very beginning, and I just didn't connect with the characters or the writing in this one. The really good thing about Malibu Rising, I will say, is that it's a fantastic pick for summer. You are reading about the shores of Malibu and surfing and a big end of the year party, and I did really love those aspects of it. And for someone looking for something summery, it is a good pick for you, but I just didn't love it. This one was actually my first ever Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and I'm a little bit nervous to read some of her other books just based on this one because people love it and I didn't connect with it, but I know better than that. There are still some others that I want to try, so get ready for those. After reading Malibu Rising, my reading list was redeemed with It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was my first Colleen Hoover book. I loved it. I still love it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Realistically, it's a 6 out of 5 stars, but we'll give it a whole 5 out of 5 stars. I flew through every page of this book. I could not put it down. I finished this book in less than 24 hours. You will see more from her on my list. I just can't get enough. Cannot wait to read more of her books. I understand now why people are so obsessed with Colleen Hoover and It Ends With Us, because same. Another really fantastic book that I read in July was from my Book of the Month box. I decided to pick up The Bodyguard, which was a new release in July, and it was a super cute and easy read. I gave that one 4 stars, although if you watched my review, you know I was intending to give it 3.5, but there was a little spin at the end, which I wasn't expecting, and I love a good spin at the end, so that one earned 4 stars from me. I would highly recommend that you try that one if you are into rom-coms and love happy romances that come around to a good ending but take a little bit of time. Again, I wasn't even intending to go for romances. Book Lovers has changed me, and that is why I decided to try the Bodyguard, and I'm so glad that I did. This one would also be a really good summer read. I say that just because it was such an easy and light read. I finished that one in a few hours, and you can easily enjoy it at the beach or by the pool or just a nice light summery read. Last but definitely not least, I decided to try another super popular book that I was expecting was going to be overhyped. That book was The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I know I said earlier I was super skeptical to read Taylor Jenkins Reid's books because of not really loving Malibu Rising. I'm so glad I decided to just continue and try The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That one has redeemed her writing for me. I absolutely loved it. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo was for sure a 5 out of 5 for me. Taylor Jenkins Reid teaches her readers so many life lessons through Evelyn, good and bad life lessons. I think that it's a perfect fit for pretty much everyone. There's so much to gain from that book, and Evelyn Hugo was such a complex character. I just adored her. Some of the lessons that can be gained from this book were to be confident in yourself, to fight for what you want in life, and to be the champion of your own story. This book deserves its own review, so be on the lookout for that. I cannot wait to share all of my thoughts with you on this book because it was so much better than I expected. It was such a great month of reading for me. I read 7 books, 5 which I loved, 2 that were kind of meh. My favorite book of the month, I can't even pick just one. I think it's going to be a toss-up between Book Lovers and It Ends With Us. 2 completely different books and experiences, but I loved them both so much. My least favorite book, unfortunately, is Malibu Rising. Sorry to all of the people who love that one, but I'll continue to read Taylor Jenkins Reid's books because I loved Evelyn Hugo. Cannot wait to read Carrie Soto is Back when that comes out, I think in August, so you'll definitely see that one on the channel. I did film and post reviews of almost all of the books that I read in July, so if you want more information about my in-depth thoughts on these books and to hear more about why I rated them the way that I did, I will link all of those videos down below. And I've also included a link to my Goodreads and to Book of the Month, as I always do. At my Goodreads, you can see what I am currently reading and see my most up-to-date reviews, and the Book of the Month link allows you to get your first book for just $5, and that is such an incredible deal. July was the month that I started posting these reviews, and I just appreciate all of your views and support, and I cannot wait to continue into the month of August. See you in the next one. Bye!